is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Beyond the Rider Live with my co-host, Denver Woods. And we have a special guest now. We have Meg from Meg's Motorcycle Journey and Cameraman, a.k.a. Michael. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we ordered pizza like an hour and a half ago. And it's just now getting here. So my
that's awesome. So funny.
Pizza. Oh, hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys.
So how is it? Mr. Cox is in the house. Hey, Tony Cox, how you doing, sir? Tony Cox just got a new Rollo Rider S. I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, anywho's, I apologize for that. We ordered it at 6:40, and I totally forgot about it until just now.
Oh, that's so funny.
And then I heard the doorbell and was like, Michael, I'm done. I feel bad because he's still recovering from surgery, and I'm making him hobble down the hallway and pick up the pizza.
Well, I'm glad we were talking earlier. I'm glad that went well for him. So how are you doing? Thank you so much for coming on.
Sure. I'm good. I want this winter to be over.
Yeah. It looks Monkey's in the house too. Geez, everybody's here.
Yeah, I'm ready for winter to be over too. It's
this winter has been horrible.
It's been so cold. So, but before this year, last year and the year before, I don't think Mike and I ever went longer than a week and a half without riding. Now it hasn't been much longer than that. Maybe it's been 2 weeks now. It's going to be longer because he's still recovering. But our bikes are in our trailer. So we left the bikes in our trailer, and then the 2 days before he went into surgery, he was like, I should really get your bike out so that if you want to ride while I can't ride, that you can ride. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, I know it'll make you sad because you can't ride. And I love riding. It's one of the only 2 or 3 things that I'm in the moment for. I have a really hard time with that. And him and I always talk about this because my brain moves 1 million miles a minute. It's a curse and a blessing, I guess. But it's one of the few activities that I really feel like I'm in the moment. And that is priceless to me, which is why I love it. But he probably loves it more. It's in his blood. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want to ride until you're ready to ride. So we'll just, leave the bikes in the trailer. But, this week in Maryland is the first week that it's been above 40. So I know.
Yeah.
Just 62.
Just because he can't ride. That's why.
Right. I might even test it, though.
But, yeah, it's the winter has not been good. There's only one reason that I wanted to stay cold for 3 more weeks is that we have been planning. So we try to come up with really cool content in the winter to the best of our ability, which is hard because there's snow on the ground a lot of the time living in Maryland. But we really try to make it fun and come up with really cool content for everyone. And so we had been thinking, what is the winter activity that is sort of the equivalent of riding? And we thought that was snowmobiling. So
okay.
A lot of other channels don't do this. We tried to do jet skiing in the summer because we thought that was kind of also, a motorcycle on water sort of.
Sure.
And that sucked because we just took this jet ski tour and the guy.
Jet skis are a lot of fun. Let's not get.
They are.
It's just the tour we took probably.
The guy was a tool bag.
Yeah.
And
now, where was this?
It
he gave me spankings and everything, man.
Oh man, he was mad at Mike.
Because you're not allowed to ride next to each other. How am I going to ride?
He wanted to tape me, and so it was in Fenwick, Delaware, which is right on the Maryland-Delaware line on the Eastern Shore, and it was the tours. So I had asked everybody on the channel, does anyone have 2 jet skis that they'll loan us? And a couple people were like, I have 1 jet ski, but they didn't have 2 jet skis. And we were hoping that we could ride next to each other because we thought it would be funny if he taped me the way he tapes me on a motorcycle.
Sure, that would be hysterical, yeah.
So that was the plan. But then the guy was like, you will stay 100 feet away from each other. And no one will do donuts, and you won't do that.
He told me it was $800 fine for a donut.
So So the hilarious part is that on this tour, there was other people. Careful laughing.
Yeah, I know it hurts a lot.
So the funny thing is, on this tour, there was like a bunch of other jet skis, right? And Mike and I have both ridden jet skis, and we're just the type of people that, like, you know, we ride motorcycles. We can figure this out. But there was not other people on the tour that were not that way. And they kept falling. And every time they would fall off, the guide would have to go over and help them back on. And Mike would come over and ride right next to me. And we would tape it. Or he'd just go off into donuts. And I was so mad because he, like, can't get there in time to, like, stop Mike.
By the time he got to me,
that's funny.
Yeah.
So
not even jumping the wake.
He was getting so mad. But it didn't turn out how we
snowmobiling. I think
we're hoping that the snowmobiling experience, they allow us to, like, ride next to each other, and it will be our sort of winter equivalent of motorcycles. So we're doing that in 3 weeks, and I'm hoping he's feeling better for that. But
that'll be awesome. That's funny. Well, that's what I was gonna say. You guys have a unique way of filming, because most of the time you have a cameraman. I mean, that's the dream right there.
For him or for me?
For both of you, right? Because you get to just hang out. You know, there's no like trying to just. Well, I guess it can be distracting on either level, but it's a lot easier than trying to film yourself and, you know, walk around and talking to yourself.
So what we want to do, and we have the tools to do it, and I started to do it sort of before we went to Florida, was we want to get. Okay. So we both hate full face helmets, which is one reason why I don't like taping forward facing or outwards, because I hate it. Now I will do it for people because I know they want to hear a live vlog, but 9 times out of 10, if it's not like absolutely frigid, like anything above 45 degrees.
That's your personal preference, right? Like,
that's true.
And some people prefer full faces.
That's correct. But him and I both don't like full faces. And I feel like, and it's like he said, totally personal preference. But I feel like I'm on a motorcycle and I want to feel the wind in my face. And if I didn't, I'd be in a car. And I want to hear everything, and I want to just experience all of that. And when I'm in a bubble on my head, I don't feel like I get to experience that as much. So I don't love it, but we are willing to do it because we think it would be fun to tape. We got Uconnects, which are like a communication system, like Center or whatever. But supposedly it can record you the conversation. So that's where we want to get to. And I was working with Uconnects because they haven't really. They say that their devices have the capacity to do it. So I'm going to still try to figure that out, because a lot of people have asked us, and I think that would be funny. Mainly people get a kick out of, you know, Mike giving me a hard time and stuff like that. And so it's like, it's fine. Like, that's how we are, and we're fine. It's fine, you know, and I have a sense of humor about it. We have a sense of humor about it. So I think it would be cool to be able to do that. And that's a goal, to be able to hook it up. But, I mean, it's definitely hard on him sometimes to film me, because especially in the cold, when he's got gloves and he's trying to like operate the camera, and, you know, his gloves, and he's all connected, and, you know, so it's definitely harder on him than me. And especially because the learning curve for me. So, you know, I've been riding for 2 years and like 4 months, something like that. And to his credit, he was very patient with me in the beginning when, like, I barely went the speed limit. And Mike rides hard. So it was a real exercise in patience for him. But
it's just hard watching somebody go through the progressions. That's all. You know? It's difficult.
It's hard to teach somebody, for sure.
And he's very patient with me.
You got to be careful with Megan, because whatever you tell her, she will listen and she will follow through, which is very dangerous and also very, you know, good. You know,
because I'll do exactly what he tells me. But so he was very good and very patient with that. But also, for a long time, it was hard for me to, like, be good at holding a steady pace. Now, at this point, I'm so used to riding next to him that I do literally better, and I feel more comfortable riding next to him, which everybody else gets really freaked out that we ride next to each other all the time. They're really freaked out that we're that close together. And like, that's fine. That's, again, ride your own ride. It's your prerogative, however you want to ride. And
Sure.
if you want to ride in formation, that's totally cool. And we will do that on a group ride because we will be respectful of everybody there and their rules and what they want to do. But like, if it's just us, that's how I am most comfortable riding, because we've ridden 20,000 miles, next to each other and taped all of the places we've gone.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So what got you?
Ride how you're comfortable.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
If you're comfortable riding in that style, I mean, how you guys work together, you guys, been riding partners. Obviously, you're putting all these miles together. You've learned how, he rides.
Yeah.
He's learned how, you're riding how you're familiar. So you guys really know each other's style and you're comfortable with it. But then I totally get where you're saying, if you're in a group ride, that's totally different than just the two of you riding.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't ride with somebody else like that. I wouldn't ride with somebody I don't know right next to him, in the lane all the time. But I mean, more him than me. He's very good at knowing what I'm going to do and predicting and being able to like make up for that. So, and I just trust that he's going to know.
That's right. So so was Michael the inspiration to start to ride? I mean, did you?
So he actually, when we were kids, he used to ride dirt bikes and like ice like that. But then when he was in the Navy, he got a sport bike that he really loved, but he didn't have a motorcycle for a long time. And then he got his Harley in 16, right? The first Harley that you had, 16.
16 or 17. Something
16. And so he told me, and I like teased him a little bit that he got an old man bike. But then like I saw the bike and I liked it, rode on it, liked it. But it was really my son, my middle son, who is now, he's about to be 12, but he wanted a dirt bike. And so I got him a dirt bike, and I rode the dirt bike more than he rode the dirt bike. So first we got him an electric dirt bike, and then we had a little 80, and I loved the 80. I actually flipped it on me trying to go off jumps in my backyard.
In there.
I have that, yeah. I was wearing no gear like an idiot. Flipped the bike. I might have had a helmet. I don't know if I did, but I had no gloves. I had no pads, nothing. And I'm like, yeah, let me build this ramp in my backyard and try this.
That's how you learn, though, right?
And I flipped the 80 on me. But it's not that big. I mean, I'm not a big person, like I'm like 5'2" and, not a big person. But anyway, so I was loving that. And he was encouraging me to, look at bikes and get out there and try it and try a street bike. But I didn't have my license and stuff like that. So it was just that I was having a blast on his dirt bike doing that. So my youngest was going to kindergarten, and I really wanted to do something for me. And I know it's maybe outside the norm of what like women want to do for them, but I am and have always been a thrill seeker. It's just in my personality. I, was a nationally competitive gymnast. I cheered in college and was a high flyer, did like trick skiing, stuff like that. So like, it's just that part of me. It's a way that I can do it as an adult. I can't really be a gymnast in the same way, or, cheer in the same way, or stunt, or my body has a hard time with trying to do flips on skis these days.
No, you could do it.
I probably could, but it wouldn't. So it's kind of like my way to do something that I love. So I think it was all of those things. But yes, he encouraged me and educated me.
That's awesome.
Mostly, though, he was very patient with me.
That's awesome. Somebody asked in the side chat, and it went by pretty quick. I couldn't catch up to it. How do you balance being a mom of 3 kids, being a lawyer, being an entrepreneur, and then having this YouTube endeavor? I mean, that seems to be a lot.
It is a lot.
I think being a lawyer would be a lot for me, but that's just me.
She's a lawyer like a first baseman catches balls, man. It's just like that natural. I mean, there's a lot of work she puts into it, but she does things, guys, that it's amazing. She'll be in the car and handling attorney stuff, right? Like baking a cake and, handling, properties that we're looking at for car washes all at the same time. I don't know how she does it.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you.
My brain just works really fast. So, but not always.
That's why I don't have to remember anything.
Sometimes
multitasking at its finest.
Sometimes to my detriment, because it like we were earlier talking about like anxiety and like how that's because my brain spins so quickly. But how do I balance it? I would say, I make things a priority that are important to me. And for a long time, I think as a mom, because I have a much older daughter, my oldest will be 16 shortly.
Okay.
So I spent a long time just wholeheartedly dedicating myself to kids and practicing law. And it wasn't really making me happy. I mean, I love my children and I had moments of joy, but I didn't have personal fulfillment. I felt like I lost a part of who I was. So now I make the time to do this YouTube channel because I love it and I feel alive when I ride and it's fun. So I carve out that time. I put it on my schedule and he'll tell you.
Very good with schedule.
I'm crazy about schedules. Like I have calendars where I have like our car wash calendar. I have our motorcycle calendar. I have a family calendar that's
Bike
like all
details,
my kids.
Car details.
Yes.
Details. My kids' lives, her kids' lives.
Yeah,
like,
the law firm, my court dates, like all of that stuff. So I have like color coded calendars, and he's not really the type of person to like do these kinds of things. But I have been like, Michael, it's on the calendar.
I know. I wake
Now,
up.
Michael, how many times, be honest, you just turn and go, sorry, I have to speak to my lawyer? I feel like that would be that'd be like a great trump card.
But
no,
there are definitely times where I'm just like, she's right here, guys. Keep talking.
Well, it's
she's going to charge
my
me for
wife
this,
and
but
I,
she's right here.
With our kids and, trying to balance work schedules, and you got 3 kids in different sports playing different. I mean, there's times where, I'm up in Washington State where my wife was on one side of the state with one son. I'm down in Oregon with our other son at the baseball game. And it's, we're the same way. If it wasn't on the calendar, it's like, there's times you live by it just because of what's going on in your life. My wife's work schedule, mine, and then trying to, you got the kids stuff that's going on before they can drive themselves in sports. Yeah. I mean, it gets busy, and there are times, man, if it wasn't for the calendar, I think we'd be lost and missing a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, with my kids, I want them to see that I am one, like I set big goals and I have big dreams and I go after those things and try to accomplish those things. And 2, that I do things for me. And that helps me like who I am as a person. And I want them to see that. I want them to see me as mom, but also me as Megan doing things that I like that fulfill me so that when they grow up, they know that that's important.
I think that that's important. I don't think a lot of people, especially parents, especially women, realize that self-care is so important because it's so easy to get lost in a role of being a parent and being a husband or a wife, and you lose track of who you are. I think that's great that you're doing that. And that's a great role model for your kids, man. Live your dream. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
What got you into, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, a lot of people say they're going to do all these things when they retire.
Yeah. And that day never comes.
Right.
Even when it does, how do you feel?
Yeah, right. You're old. And so like, since both of us are really passionate about riding and like seeing the world on bikes, we're both about to be 40. And it's like, we can even see every day that like, our bodies are not the same as when, I was talking to him about, we used to have like season passes and we would ski and snowboard. We'd drive up 3-4 times a week together at night and go. And like the toll that takes on your body now, just like doing it 1 or 2 days. And so
I'm good doing it once a year now.
I can't.
Yeah, just so I don't forget.
I can't imagine like if we had waited to tour until, to do all of these things until we're 65. And like, it's a lot harder on our bodies. And that is kind of the whole point that I want to get across with our channel is like, don't wait,
Yeah.
make time, do things, because you might, who knows? Like, I could wake up dead tomorrow, hopefully not. But like, if that was the case, then like I said, I just lived the most amazing year ever. I got to go ride the tail of the dragon. I went to Daytona. We rode Vermont. Like, I did things for me that made me happy.
And I think that's fantastic, because that is the problem, right? We always wait till tomorrow to do something. We were in the same boat. We were putting off buying our touring bike forever. And then it was just like, you know what? Maybe we can't afford it, but well, we can eat ramen noodles if we had to. Like, just live it. Because I know so many people. Yes, Dabir, you're absolutely right. One day is not a day of the week or on the calendar. That's for damn sure. Because especially in the last 2 years, seen a lot of changes with people. It's definitely, you realize how fragile life is.
Well, you know, it's the old saying that goes around: live today because tomorrow isn't guaranteed, which is very true.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, enjoy life, because you never know when your time comes. So, you know, if you want to do stuff, do it. And that's what, as coming here, co-host with Bry's a lot of fun. My channel, we're all about motorcycles. I enjoy traveling, and that's what I really like. I've watched some of your YouTube, and you guys enjoy getting on the bikes and traveling, and that was the big inspiration for me. So, I started watching some of your channel and some of your, your YouTube videos, and Bryce said, "Hey, would you want to come do this?" I'm like, absolutely. This is what it's all about to me. I mean, you get that passion, you enjoy motorcycles, between, balancing life, which I get, but, you guys enjoy to get out and tour and enjoy the country, seeing the places, but doing it from behind your bars and enjoying the road.
I really feel like it's like no other way. Like, I've had friends, and actually because I had kids pretty young, I really felt like I missed out. Like, actually, like friends that of mine, well, Mike's too, they went to high school with us. We all grew up together, but they did a cross country trip twice in our 20s, and I didn't get to do it because I had little kids, and I really felt like I was missing out. But now I'm like, you know what? When I go in a car somewhere, that cannot even touch going somewhere on a motorcycle. Like, I don't get to feel the temperature changes. I don't get to smell the things and see the things and hear the things. Like when you're out on the element on a bike, and that kind of feeling alive and experiencing the world from that is like nothing I've ever done. So I'm actually not sad that I didn't get to do that, because I would rather have those experiences on a bike than from the enclosure of a car.
I mean, I've had some pretty bars that,
and especially the smells. It's crazy how getting into different areas on a motorcycle, how the smells change. I mean, like living up here in the Northwest, where people think it's funny, but you can smell the rain coming.
Yeah,
you can get some of these farmlands. Like we have some great massive tulip farms up here, which is a real popular place up in Northwest Washington, where there's, hundreds and hundreds of acres of tulips of every color. But you can get through some of these farmlands. You can, of course, sometimes in some farmlands the smell isn't that pleasant. But
that's where we are.
It's so much more personal.
They call us cow.
Yeah.
It's way more personal on a motorcycle than it is, saying in your cage. And there's just no experience like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what got you into law?
I wanted to be a lawyer since the 6th grade, when I did there was like a debate, like exercise where they took Supreme Court cases and, they dumbed them down, obviously, to a 6th grade level, and said basically this was what the Supreme Court case was. And then they assigned us each side. I think this was some sort of a GT course that was offered, like, separate from academics. And then they basically held this like debate where we were to argue one of the sides. And I was just really happy that, like, to learn that I could argue with someone for a living, because, it's enjoyable.
Michael's face. He's like, yeah.
You know why? Because he's been arguing with me since we were kids. And
I taught her how to be an attorney.
He did hone my argument skills, because when we were kids, and he was the person that made me the maddest arguing with him, because he will dig in and he will not give up. Even if you prove his point to be wrong, he doesn't care. He acts like you didn't say it.
That's not true.
And he just keeps arguing the same point, and it used to infuriate me. So he did definitely hone my argument skills. But my dad, it was funny because I came home and I was like, I love this. This is so much fun. Like, I love coming out with these arguments and thinking about how I'm going to like,
does.
yeah, it's true. Thinking about how I'm gonna, like, you know, I, honestly, it's my competitive personality too, where I feel like I'm going to like wage a war with words and I'm going to win with words. And I like that. So my dad thought it was hilarious. He was like, she was so happy when she figured out that she could argue for a living and someone would pay her to do that. Kind of true.
It's entertaining to watch her in court too.
Yeah, he's came to court with me.
I was going to record it, but then decided I could be arrested for that, so I didn't.
And what kind of Charlie from New Hampshire was asking, what kind of law do you practice?
Civil litigation, so
Okay.
which is sort of a big umbrella. So, you know, in the legal field, there's criminal work and then there's civil work. And civil, you know, encompasses a large part of that. Definitely more areas of law under sort of that umbrella. But there are things that I don't do. And I try not to be one of those attorneys that's like, yeah, I can do anything, because then you don't do anything well. So the areas that I primarily focus on are estate litigation. So that's like arguing over wills and trust and estate contest, which I've heard described, I think this is a funny way to say it, as a sibling divorce a lot of times, because it's brothers and sisters fighting over their parents' money, although it's also sometimes blended families where like kids don't like second or third wife and they want to argue about that kind of stuff. But then I do a fair amount of business litigation, contracts litigation, homeowners association stuff. I try to stay away from custody and divorce because I don't like it, because I don't like watching kids hurt. And the thing is like, you know, I am a firm believer that, you know, adults should do things that make them happy and make them parent. And if that means getting a divorce, then they should get a divorce, and that's okay. It's just that I have seen people be so ugly to each other to hurt their children, you know, to the point where it's hurting their children just because they want to hurt the other person. And I don't like doing that. But I have done tons of custody work. I do it a lot for a lot of friends. Some employment, not a ton, but a little bit. So that's primarily what I do. But I have been considering, only because I think I could market it well, taking some continuing legal education courses for motorcycle law, because I think I could market that well.
Definitely a market for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with having an inside look at it too. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always get it. I mean, I've been divorced, but I always got a kick out of people get divorced and they're arguing over the ottoman. I'm like, you're paying a lawyer how much? And you're arguing over the couch, you know, like, come on. So
you will find there's a hilarious like legal meme that's like a tweet from somebody that's become a legal meme that says something like, I just finalized a divorce where the parties aren't allowed to teach their parrot. They're splitting custody of a parrot, and they aren't allowed to teach their parrot bad phrases about the other one. And I went to law school for this, and that's true. So, you know,
I don't. The parrot back and forth with saying
as custody.
That's kind of
hilarious, but
that's bad.
It's Bodine wants his ottoman. Bodine, we were never married. You can say what you want. Oh, that's awesome. So what's your riding like? What do you enjoy doing? Because you've met two of my favorite YouTubers. So you've met Motoblonde, you met Tank recently.
Yeah,
Tank's an awesome dude. Yeah, Cycle Fanatics, a lot of folks. Jerry. So how was that for you?
All of them are really great. So some people here's the thing. I always want my collaboration videos to do really well, because I think it's pretty cool that I got to meet this person that I've like watched their channel, and like I've gotten to know them through a screen, but I didn't get to know them face to face, and I finally get to, and I get excited for that. But they never do well. The collaboration videos are always like really like our worst rated videos, which I don't understand, because I think it would be super cool.
Sure.
But I also get people really like defensive. I guess they like find a channel that they really like, and I don't know. Anyway, people
They're married to the channel. Almost.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, YouTube is very polarizing for sure.
Yeah.
And people have said stuff like about Jerry's teaching style, that he's sort of brash. I like it. I'm used to, as a competitive gymnast, I want somebody. Yeah, I want somebody to tell me, like, hey, that sucks. You need to stop doing that. I don't want somebody to sugarcoat it. I want to be the best rider that I can be. And so I want you to tell me if I suck, then tell me, like, hey, you're not doing this thing. Fix it. And then I can fix it, because if I don't hear it, then, and I don't want somebody to sit there and sugarcoat it and tell me that I'm doing this good or keep going. Yeah, no, I don't need that. I need somebody to be like, Megan, that sucks. Your U-turn sucks. You're not doing the things, because I hear that. You're right. So
now, how is he? Because he seems very intimidating.
He's great, man.
He's hilarious. We both love him. He's great.
I watched him do it like an entire class, like with a bunch of random people, and then I saw him one-on-one, you know, working with Megan and shit. He never even talked to me, and I jumped in just by listening to him. I did the damn course, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
He's that good, you know. I mean, what he does is he almost gives you the confidence, right?
Yeah. And
then depending on your fear level, you know, if you're willing to listen, he can coach you. And that's basically his MO.
So that was really
thank
fun.
you, Jason.
We had fun for Mr. Meg Cameraman.
No, thank you.
So we had a lot of fun with Heather MotoVlog. She was awesome. She's awesome. Can really ride.
She surprised the hell out of me right out of the gate.
She can ride. Yeah. And the thing is no offense to other lady riders, but I tend to experience that a lot of lady riders don't like to ride as hard, which is, you know, probably just nature and what it is. And some of them are not real comfortable, like letting loose and going fast. And, you know, I feel like a lot of ladies are just more intimidated to go out by themselves as much. So they might not hone their skills as much as guys do. But Heather, she got it. She can ride. So we had a really good time with her and Anthony. That was fun.
They're both great folks.
Yeah, really, really cool. So we thought they were fun. John was awesome. So John and Glenn, right?
Yeah.
John and Glenn came down to the area. They were doing something at Zippers, which is a local bike shop, which funnily enough had asked us to do a bike detail for that.
Funny.
And he was like, meet me at this local bike shop. And then we showed up and we're like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
But they were really fun. We had a good.
Into him again,
yeah, we just ran into John again. So that was cool. So yeah, and then we had fun, a lot of fun with Tank just when we were just in Florida, and they've had me on twice. And
I saw that.
You know, both Tank and Dirty are really nice, great guys, funny, a lot of fun. So yeah, that's one of the coolest parts, honestly, of like our channel getting any sort of like exposure is like that we've gotten to meet some of these people that we really admire their work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool when the community comes together. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now, have you found an area that you guys really enjoy to ride so much, you know, outside of your home area that you travel to that just really gets you that you know you could go back time and time again and just go through that area?
I think, well,
there's a lot of them.
Yeah, that's true. But I think
I was gonna say was Pine Creek, the Gorge.
Yeah, Mike loved that.
I love that ride. That wasn't bad. I mean, the thing is not far from the house.
Right. So in 3 hours. So
I could get up at 4 in the morning and be there at 7:30 in the morning and ride that whole mountain all day and turn around and be home before the sun goes down.
So
nice.
We went there. Although he says that, but then we went there.
They went staying and riding again. Yeah.
Well, what happened was, this was last year, and I thought we're definitely safe at the end of April to go for 2 nights to Pennsylvania, because it was literally like the 29th and 30th of April. And we needed content, and I had heard people that said, Pine Creek Gorge is amazing. You should go check it out. It's like the Grand Canyon of the East Coast. Not really the Grand Canyon, but it's like, say, right? You know. So I had scheduled this, and I was like, you know, we'll take our time because we found a pretty cool route up there, and we'll ride up. We'll stay the night. We'll ride Pine Creek Gorge, and then we'll ride home the next day. So we had planned to do 2 nights, and it was like 64 degrees the day we rode Pine Creek Gorge. So it was like not not warm, but not cold.
It was
And
good
the
ride.
day we rode up was like 63. You know, we were in some gear, but not a lot of gear. It was fine. They were not called. They were calling for it to be
snow damage.
cold, but they weren't colder. But they weren't calling for that. We woke up and it was literally like 31 degrees, and there was snow everywhere.
I got a vest, long sleeves.
We don't
a
have
flannel,
full face
and
helmets. We don't have
ride
like
on a mountain.
we don't
It was
have
fun.
gaiters. We don't have like anything. It's freaking freezing. We got what do you think? 50 miles.
I mean, we tried hard as hell.
We did.
That was a lot more than a good old college try. I can tell you that.
But it was rough. But we loved that.
We love that.
We loved Tennessee.
Yeah, you can't. beat
Tennessee, the mountains in Tennessee.
I felt like people try to kill us there.
There was a lot of bad drivers. There was a lot of bad drivers in Tennessee.
Just
But
in perspective.
North Carolina and Tennessee, the mountains were awesome. And then when we went up to Vermont,
Yeah,
Vermont
that
and New
was
York
nice.
were amazing.
Yes.
So I guess it's just like places where they're mountains. We much prefer that. I know there's a ton of people that like beach riding, and like it's not that it's not cool, but like I don't know. Once you've been over one bridge, you kind of been over all the bridges. Once you like, you know, you've seen the water. You've seen the water. I don't know. We both prefer mountain riding.
I like riding a bike when I get off. I can tell.
Thanks, Jason.
Give me a minute, you know.
Yeah, that's got to be
Mountains.
New York State's some amazing riding.
So that was nice.
We went up to Niagara
Yeah,
Falls
that
and
area.
we went to
Okay.
Woodstock. We came through the Catskills. It was absolutely amazing.
So
That's where
Catskills
Motorblind
is
took us,
where,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
she took us through the Catskills Mountains. So pretty,
Gorgeous.
really cool.
Yeah, it's an absolute amazing area to ride. So at one of your videos a while back, I know you mentioned about getting a bagger. Are you still looking at doing that? A bigger bike?
Yeah, eventually. So, you know, well, at the time we were still trying to figure out sort of I guess how we wanted to run the channel. And I tell people this all the time. Every dollar that we've ever made on YouTube, on calendars, on anything else has gone back into doing motorcycle stuff. Now, some of that is routine maintenance on me and Mike's bikes, which is nice
Mhm.
because it's a company expense now because we have a company and we treat our YouTube channel as a business because, you know, we started an LLC. There's a lot of things that are tax write-offs, which is nice because it's a business and we make money off of doing it. So some of those things would have been expenses anyway, right? So like getting Mike new back tires because he rides all the time like a crazy person and he burns the hell out of his tires. So
Oh, he's doing burnouts. You just gave him
No,
away.
I don't
He
do any
doesn't. He
burnouts.
really
I
doesn't.
love my tread. I
He
swear.
burn
he
out.
doesn't. Truly, he doesn't. He just rides hard as hell. That's it.
I really.
That's
Um,
awesome.
But
Yeah, when you're there.
I mean, it's expensive, man.
So like tires, maintenance on our bikes, bike payments, like money has gone to those things. But there isn't it's not like we're taking the money to do, you know, other things. We're not taking it
Sure.
as like a paycheck. But so at the time we had kind of been like, well, maybe we'll save the money and buy a bagger. But then we were like, you know what? Like all this cool stuff, we would rather take the money and put it into traveling all these cool places and experiencing the world than we would getting another bike. Now we are I will say this. So we are planning on trying to do a cross-country trip next summer.
Nice.
And so it everyone's like, I can't believe you do that on Softails. And we would, but it would be a little easier if we had one. So
At least one bagger.
right. So I've been talking to some folks about them lending me a bagger, and then we'd probably take my bike. We'll see.
Nice.
And do that. So we and maybe, you know, when we pay off, because we are paying for bikes through the channel, when we pay off Mike's bike, maybe we consider getting another bike, you know, getting something, not like a super nice new bagger, but we consider getting something.
Yeah.
It's just been like, as the channel has developed, we've been like, listen, the thing that we have found that we love the most is getting out there and riding. And we'd rather invest the money in being able to do that than on a third bike. But not to say that we won't do a third bike. Eventually we will. It's just for right now, you know.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
What
Well, if you
what
guys
would you
get out
buy
to
if you
the-
went bagger?
Hmm?
I'm sorry, Denver. Go ahead.
No, they'd go road glide, Bride. Don't worry about that. But hey,
You
you know,
would
if you
go
guys
road
came out to
glide.
the Northwest, feel you know, you want to get some great areas, whether it's Idaho, Oregon, Washington, whatnot, Montana. Feel free to reach out and give you some great advice and places
Thank
to see.
you.
They're absolutely amazing to ride out here.
Yeah,
I
thank
have to
you.
do this.
We're real
Denver's in
excited.
Seattle, so he'd love to take you out for coffee.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Bride.
I missed
He
that.
said he lives in Seattle.
He doesn't live in Seattle. It's a joke. He lives in Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm farther west of Seattle. I'm on the Olympic Peninsula. I'm a quarter mile from the ocean.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, we want to basically, when we go across country, our goal is like get as far across the not as exciting. I'm not going to say boring because people will get sad and upset. The not as exciting states, and then ride out west is really what we want to do. I mean, we're going to Sturgis this year, and unlike a lot of people, we want to go and ride. Like, we'll go to Sturgis for a day or 2 or 3 at most.
Yeah.
We want to
I'm
go
down
out there.
for a day.
I mean, so we have some collaborations, hopefully that are going to be fun and exciting that we're doing out there. So we'll be there, and we're going to try to do one day, at least half day, where we do a meet and greet, because a lot of people from that side of the country have been like, you never come anywhere near us and we never can meet you. So we're going to try to do that. But really what both of us are excited for is to ride out there and all the stuff we can ride. So we're really excited about that. But when we go cross country, it is like we just want to get across the country so we can see all that cool stuff in your neck of the woods. So I appreciate that. We might reach out.
That's
And
awesome.
if you want to go to Surge, my best bet is if you want to enjoy rides around there at the Black Hills, do all that, is go 4 or 5, a week before it actually starts. Otherwise, trying to ride out there, it is absolute chaos.
I have a feeling that next year we're probably just going to do like a ride out off season to really get the experience, because now that it's getting closer, people have been telling us that,
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, there's some beautiful places in Montana. I mean, Beartooth Pass is awesome. Lolo Pass is absolutely amazing. The North Cascades Highway in Washington is probably one of the most scenic routes. Actually, that was one of Harley's 50 rides last year, was the North Cascades Highway in Washington, because it's open seasonal, but there are so many off-beaten highways that so many people don't know about, whether it's Oregon, Washington. So,
right.
I've spent my life, I've lived my whole life, I'm, 40 plus years in Washington, and spent my whole life on motorcycles. So if you guys get this way, want some advice, absolutely feel free to reach out. I'll point you in great directions.
That is the one thing I love about this community is you can reach out to anybody and they're like, yeah, let's meet up.
Yes. People are great about that.
We were just talking about that Bunka Biker.
Oh yeah, with them.
Yeah, like it's cool that like Bunka Biker. I don't know if you heard of it or not.
Hey, that's an awesome Facebook group. I got invited to that a while ago.
Right.
Got some friends to do that. They absolutely love it.
Like free help.
Yep.
The community
goes around,
great.
comes around.
Yep.
Oh, it is.
I mean, I think even with the YouTube community, it's amazing how many people are willing to put the work in to help you if you need help.
I will say, with the exception of 1 or 2 people that I've reached out to and have not been so receptive, almost everybody else who is in the MotoVlog community has been great. Like, Doodle on a motorcycle, like her and I have chatted a bunch of times. She's really nice. And, she's given me some good advice. Jerry's given me good advice. I've talked to Blacktop Devil. They changed the name of their channel. I can't remember the name.
Yeah. Oh, they're amazing. That's a great couple. They're so much fun.
Yeah, I've talked to him a bunch of times, and he's been really nice on Instagram. So yes, I would say like the vast majority of the YouTube community. Actually, I had reached out just because we were going to be right there to Shade Tree and asked him if he would meet up with us when we were in Florida, and he was very nice and accommodating and was supposed to meet up with us.
Awesome.
But then he had some stuff come up
in
his personal life, and it didn't end up working out because he had some stuff he really just came up out of the blue and he had to attend to. But he was super nice, receptive. So yeah, I found that most people in the MotoVlog community have been great.
Yeah, and I think that
right on the blacktop. That's right.
Yeah. I think that's important too. I think it's important that we all give back because there's so much we can all learn from each other. I mean, Bodine's been a huge help in getting my channel off the ground and, kind of showing me the ropes. And it's great that you have that in the community. And that's how it should
it's
be.
likewise, for me. I mean, Bry, when I first started my podcast, I was
You're
all
going to
about
make
streaming.
Bodine jealous. Be very
I was
careful
all,
what you
Apple,
say here.
Spotify, Google, and Bry kept pushing me, dude, you need to get on YouTube. And, for me, it goes to the guy next to me right over there on the screen. Bry has been a huge support and really helped me, also moving over here to this platform. And this community is a great community to be part of. And it goes full circle. When I used to race motorcycles, I mean, I was in a tight group of part of a motorcycle community, but when you get into this side of it, the community is huge and it is an amazing thing to be part of.
Yeah. That's awesome. So do you have, because I know you have a tight cut in an hour. So what are your plans for this year? I mean, you're going to Sturgis. Do you have any goals for the channel? Do you want to do anything crazy? Are you going to try and parachute with a motorcycle, like jump a shark? What's coming up?
Guy offered to take us skydiving. Remember that guy?
Oh, that would be great.
But so, okay. Speaking of calendars, I will start laying out some of our plans for the channel. So in 3 weeks, we're going snowmobiling and skiing. And then in March, which everyone's mad that we're not going to Daytona this year. And everyone's going to get mad at me for saying this, but it was just okay. Just the riding is not that great in Daytona. No. And so now we had a blast.
I had a great time
riding down to Key West. But it's not something that I want to do every year. Like I did it. Sure. It was super cool. We had an amazing experience. But so anyway, what we're doing in March that I'm super excited for is we were supposed to go in December on a dirt bike tour through the desert of California. And we weren't able to do it because we both got COVID. So we were sick and literally it was so frustrating because, we had been walking. We had flights and we hadn't flown, neither of us, since COVID started at all. Right. But we hadn't had COVID. Neither of us had COVID before that. The whole time we went to Daytona, we went everywhere. We didn't get COVID. And then literally 3 days before we're supposed to leave, 2 days, I tested positive for COVID and I knew we had it.
We had addicted tested to fly.
Yeah, right. And I started to feel sick and my son had it. So we postponed that trip. So we are doing that in March. Nice. We're doing a 3-day dirt bike tour. We're also meeting a gentleman out there that has a radio show and he's going to talk to us. So we're going to do a bunch of fun things in California in March. So we're excited about that. In April, we're probably just going to try to do 1 or 2 small, 1 night, trips somewhere cool, local that we can do. In May, we may go to North Carolina. We have a photographer that wants to work with us, and my sister lives in North Carolina, and so she had asked, my sister's was close to Mike growing up too, so she had asked if we would come and visit her, so we might do that in May just for a couple days. In June, we're trying to go to Laconia. I have started looking at places for us to stay in Laconia. We'll probably only be there for 2 to 3 days just because it's a tight schedule on both ends. We got a lot going on. July, we'll go to Gettysburg Bike Week because that's 45-50 minutes from our house. But we did learn last year.
So you're going in July. Okay. Because we're going to try and go. It'd be great to meet up and say, hey.
Yeah. So we did learn last year that we do not want to just go for the day and not stay, just because the long day out in the sun, by the time we were done, it's just so exhausting to get back on the bike after we met all these people and we have all this stuff with us and to have to pack it all back up and it's such a late night. So we're we're not doing that again. We'll just stay just for 1 night somewhere. But that's probably all we're going to do in July just because we're going to Sturgis and we do know that that's going to take the better part of 2 weeks in August.
It's a lot of time off.
It's a lot of time away from all of our kids, my 3 and his 3. It's a lot of time not having a parent. It's a lot of time away from my law firm. It's a lot of time away from our car wash. And there's nobody here to run it when both him and I are
Yeah.
gone.
Sure.
We're not making money,
So it's a lot of time off. So July we'll probably just do that one night in Gettysburg Bike Week, and then August we're going to Sturgis, and then we have, because we had booked those flights in December, for December, the flights were like real expensive. I think just because when you get near the holidays, flights are like crazy expensive. So we had booked them, and then when I rebooked them for March, the flights were literally half the cost of December. So now we have these flight vouchers, and they said that we have to use them within one calendar year, and we can't, or we have to at least book something within a year. And they're not transferable, so it's not like I could give my credits to Mike to take his daughter or something somewhere.
Sure.
We have to use them somewhere. So we were thinking,
We'll fly to Alaska.
I don't know about that.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be a good ride.
That's 3 years. That's our 3-year
That's
plan.
3.
But I think we'll try to see if we can fly somewhere really cool and rider share bikes, maybe like October timeframe. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you mentioned your calendar, so that's back out, right? You got more of those.
Yeah. So we sold out. Gosh, I sold out by early December, I guess. So last year we did 100 because it was the first year that we ever went, and I just didn't know how many we were gonna sell, and I didn't want to pay and then like not be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I was like real conservative. This year he told me to get 500 because we would sell them, because people asked all year for calendars last year. They would say, "Hey, do you have any more calendars?" Which I thought was
that's
weird.
awesome.
I'm like, it's July. Why do you want a calendar?
Because no one gives a
Why
shit.
not? They're collectible.
So anyway, a lot of people have asked. So we did 200 this year, and then I just probably had 15 or 20 people. Somebody was asking me something. So
Somebody said wait calendars. They didn't realize you had a calendar.
Oh wait, somebody wants to see calendars. Michael, you all right to get that? Yeah. So anyway.
Oh wait, Professional Monkey wants to compete with you and do a calendar. I'm just gonna say yours is gonna outsell his.
So can I
Hey,
tell
Brian,
you?
I was trying to take a drink during that comment.
Hey, can I tell you guys that we've had? It's so weird how many people have asked if we can do a partner calendar of cameraman dressed in my outfits.
Ain't
Like
nobody
the
wants to see that.
number of
Yeah.
people.
Hey,
wouldn't do
I'm
it
sure
for
there's a market for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Just, you know.
I guarantee.
Yeah,
So-
I'll do it. I mean, shit.
Yeah. He's got no
So-
pride. He's like, yeah, why not?
Anywho's, I did. There's the calendars. I did all the. It's either me and my bike or me and Mike's bike in all the pictures.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and actually people have said that they were really pleasantly surprised by the quality, because they are nice. And people asked me for personalized messages, and a bunch of people asked me if I would put a kiss on the
I
calendar.
saw that on your thing.
I obliged them even on their birthday. People asked me to do it on their birthday. I
So
did
you got to
that.
upsell them. That has to be the next level. That's like the
So-
$30 level.
Right. Everyone was like, you should charge more to do the personalizations, but I've signed every single one of them.
Oh,
at
that's
least.
awesome.
So yeah, and Mike sat here with me for like a day.
You know, that's a lot of
Entire
labor
day.
work, man, for fingers. I'll build a fence around the world, but shit.
Hey, but can I get one? Can Mike sign it though? You know, is there an
Yeah.
option?
Yeah, apparently Jason wants to see in the candy cane outfit. So see, there's
Oh,
a
no.
market.
I mean,
no, I thought you meant the Christmas lights.
people have the Christmas lights. People have asked him, like, can you wear Meg's Daisy Dukes? And I'm like, the fact that you guys want this is so weird.
Well, come on, Christmas
Hey
time.
man, we
Mike
can't
can do the
kink
glitter
shame. It's
beard.
YouTube. People do what they do, you know?
I mean, I did use the squat over 400 pounds.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is he still got that ass, is what he's saying.
He's got the junk in the trunk.
I'd
Okay.
get girls to punch me in the ass when I was young.
He would. In high school, he'd always try to make everyone punch his butt.
Because I had the hardest ass in the world. I was squatting 400 pounds as a freshman, man.
Well, I think just when it comes to Christmas time, he can do the glitter beard and whatnot, and pose. in the
Denver's
Daisy
over
Dukes.
there taking notes on how to get a side gig on his calendar. He's like,
I
Nope,
mean, for
not me.
Halloween, they have told him he should dress as Meg.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
see, there's
I would
a
laugh.
video. There's a video. You guys need to reverse roles for
It
Halloween.
would be funny. That would be kind of funny. We could try that.
Have her try to record me. Shit.
Yeah.
I just want to see him riding in Daisy Dukes. That's all.
I mean, if we're making money, I'll do anything for money.
Hey,
I
break
mean,
out
views
them
are
jorts,
views.
buddy.
Views are views. That's
I'm
right.
comfortable with myself.
Oh, that's funny. So, Meg, I know
That's
you have a
good.
hard stop at 9. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up? Where can people find you on social media? Any big videos coming out?
So social media, we have now. I just started a Facebook page because I had a lot of
I saw
requests
that.
for it. So the reason that I didn't start a Facebook page for a long time is that my mom hates my bike, and my mom's one,
Mom's always ruining us.
and I just didn't want to hear about it from her. But I finally decided that I just don't
So,
care.
fuck you, Liz.
It's,
That's what you should have done years ago.
like there's like a kid in my house growing up.
Oh,
And him and my mom used to be very close, but they had to fall out if you can't tell. Anyway, so at any rate, so yeah, I started the Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook, Meg's Motorcycle Journey. You can find us on Instagram at Meg's Motorcycle Journey. You can find us on YouTube. We have a TikTok. I haven't been the best about videos on TikTok.
Just a lot.
We have a couple
Yeah.
of videos on TikTok. So yeah, you can find us on any of those platforms. Oh yes.
Awesome.
Also,
And if you
we
really
have,
enjoy it,
if you really like us, you can find us on Patreon. And if you really like my calendar photos, then you can see the other 150 shots that did not make the calendar on Patreon. So
That's awesome.
so a lot of people. So I get lots of shit about, dressing sexy or whatever, and
Being
like
yourself.
starting if I'm going to start an OnlyFans and blah blah blah. And I just, for my legal career, not because I have any problem with it, because I would do OnlyFans and I don't care. Now, I would not do like pornographic
Yeah.
content on
Mhm.
OnlyFans, but I would do like sexy content on OnlyFans. But I just don't think it's the best look for my legal career to have that, so I haven't. But on Patreon, we do behind the scenes videos, but I also release a lot of those pictures because I do have like 150 bike
Tons of
boudoir
pictures.
photos. And like, what am I going to do with all of these pictures?
Videos.
And
yeah.
so like, I release what I do. I mean, trust me, we had a hard time narrowing down the pictures because I literally had like
How do you
150 shots from this year. And so we had a hard time being like, which ones are we going to include in the calendar? But that gives us at least, we feel like a place to put all of these things, because what the heck am I going to do with all of these basically bike boudoir pictures? I guess we have a hard stop. If we're a couple minutes over, it's fine. But I guess the one thing that we haven't talked about that I like to address frequently is that I feel like, so we get a lot of shade about me dressing.
Wait a
sexy.
minute. There's trolls on YouTube? What?
Oh my God.
Surprise.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I mean, there are some really mean people
Like,
that
I'm
have
just some
said
nasty people out there, man.
they
There sure
hope I
are.
saw them die and don't come home to my kids, and like evil
Oh my
things.
God.
Just
Like,
like dumb stuff. Like, you shouldn't
evil
say it.
stuff about me. And here's the thing, like I guess
That's terrible.
part of the same thing that I said about like get out there and live your life, like is be who you are. And who I am is I work incredibly hard to stay fit. I love fitness. Besides riding my bike, it's one of the only things that I'm in the moment
Happy
for
place,
and
yeah.
I love. So I work out hard all the time. And so, yes, I am happy and proud of that and fine with dressing that way and showing that, because that's okay with me. Now, am I going to put out graphic content that my kids can see one day? No. But do I want my kids to feel like it's okay to be comfortable in their own skin, and it's okay to like who you are, and it's okay to express different parts of your personality? Yes. And so if my kids one day wake up and see that I did this picture, like, yeah, is it sexy? Yeah. Am I okay with, I mean, I'm not showing my 7-year-old this picture right now, but if my
Sure.
7-year-old is a 25-year-old man and he looks back and sees this,
Damn, my mom was in shape. She was a badass fucking bike. She owned her own attorney firm. It's insane. Absolutely insane.
so
And plus, that's who you are, Megan. Like every single day, people don't get it. She doesn't dress like this for the camera. Okay, like that's every single
before then,
day.
I dressed like that.
And it's just a part of who you've been your whole life.
Well, and here's the thing. I understand where it's appropriate to dress in different ways. So like when I go to court, I'm not wearing Daisy Dukes and, you know, thigh-high leather boots in court. I'm dressed like an attorney when I go to court. Now, do I sometimes dress like an edgy attorney? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's my style and I love fashion. Well, it's sort of the same thing at Bike Weeks. People have said to me, like, I love Halloween because I like dressing up and like playing a part. Well, I get to be biker me in that
100%.
case.
Yep.
Right.
And a biker me is probably closer to like, you know,
Real you.
real Megan than like lawyer me. I mean, the arguing part of lawyer me is real me, but like the, you know, dressing up and having to go to pretentious functions is not me, but I do it. I know how to do it. I know I got to market. I do those things. So I guess, you know, I am okay. People were like, I can't believe you dress like that at Bike Weeks, blah, blah. I'm like, it's fun for me. Like I get to embrace biker me. That's fun. I like doing that.
No, and I think
you
that's,
are.
I mean, my thing is if you're 100% true to who you are, then there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
And let people hate, because I mean, people will argue anything on the internet. It's just stupid.
Hey, there are Karens everywhere.
If you don't have haters, not winning, you know?
Yeah, if you're not pissing people off in this world, you're not trying hard enough. That's for damn
Exactly.
sure. That's awesome. Well, Megan, thank you so much. I'm sorry your dinner's cold, but we appreciate it.
Oh, we don't care. It's all right. We're
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's right.
So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Baggers and Brews has a live stream tomorrow, and as well as Professional Monkey has one on Friday. So, guys, make sure you check it out.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Hope everybody has a great week.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Nice meeting
everyone.
you guys all. Thank you.
Have a great
Yeah,
weekend.
nice to meet you. Thanks.